Floating on her back in a sea of golden light, Illarna felt only calmness as the sun's radiant eminence bathed her skin in its absolute warmth. Entirely content, she could hardly remember a time when she had felt so good, for all the stresses of responsibility that had for so long been lumped upon her shoulders now only felt like a distant memory, fading away on the ocean's tides. No lectures from her father, no stress-filled training sessions, no duty nor honour. No, there was nothing but serene silence. Broken from the trance by the rough churning of waves, Illarna opened her eyes, turned over, and began the instinctual motions of treading water. Feeling an immutable resistance beneath her feet, she pushed them into what she hoped was sand or stone, and stood up. To her surprise, it appeared as though she had somehow reached the shores of some unknown land, but it was unlike anything she had seen before. Stretching as far as she could see stood giant ligneous plants, with tall, slender trunks that held but a few yet large, broad leaves at their peaks. Some grew long, sharp leaves that swelled with water, while others created bizarre fractal patterns as they reached outwards to the world around them, but all grew as large as the greatest pines from her homeland. Yet unlike the natural tones she had grown accustomed, the flora here shone with the brilliance of colours, she thought all but impossible save for upon the canvas used by painters, and around their bases grew several varieties of bizarrely shaped plants completely unlike anything she could imagine. Some found their leaves dominated by bright reds and oranges, while others favoured the calming sheen of majestic blues and dramatic violets. Completely bewildered, Illarna could hardly hold back her excitement, but as she searched for all the novel colours and varieties, she abruptly realised that there were no people nor any signs of human habitation. However, she refused to give up the hope of discovery, so she searched on, and to her surprise in the distance, she saw a striking silhouette of a creature. Given its apparent distance, she figured must be inconceivably large. Transfixed, yet feeling no fear, she watched as the great beast glided about on magnificent wings so large they filled the sky as it soared across the heavens. Distracted as she was, Illarna almost missed the blue flame coalescing before her. Awe-stricken by both sights equally, Illarna tried her best to watch as the flame shifted to and fro before finally forming a face. Instantly recognizing it from her dreams, Illarna found herself speaking before she could curtail her curiosity. "You have been coming to my dreams for weeks, yet you have not said a word. Why?" Indecipherable as the flames forming its face, the entity seemed to hold no reply as it stared back, seemingly unbound by her words, yet before long its mouth began to shift.
"There is much you still have yet to learn, young one."
"I do not understand your meaning," Illarna replied. "I know that I am young, but I have already learned so much. I have been fed so much information in my lifetime that I would be surprised if there was any room for anything more."
"I misspoke. The knowledge I speak of is already within you. It is but waiting for you to reach out."
Illarna stood confused, trying to wrap her head around the meaning, yet she could find no answer, so she echoed her assertion. "The knowledge is within me? Again, I do not understand what it is you are insinuating. Besides, who are you to know these things about me?"
"I am Tal'ensol, the dragon of the sun, and you, Illarna, are my herald. Though if it is easier, you may instead see me as a guide, a mentor if you will."
With a blank look on her face, Illarna could not find the words to describe the frustration she was feeling, for if anything she was now more confused than before. Noticing this, Tal'ensol took the initiative to continue.
"Worry not, young phoenix. I have been with you since the day of your birth. I have always been here with you through all your trials and tribulations. I was there with you through every choice, influencing your outcomes, so that you might be ready for the last of our days."
Falling silent for a time, Illarna wondered if the flames seemed to burn brighter. Silence soon growing all but defining, she wondered if the dragon was waiting for her to say something. But just as she tried, Tal'ensol suddenly continued to speak.
"Although I must admit that even I have found some of your choices questionable. Nevertheless, I still wonder if you might have changed as a result."
Seeming to trail off in thought, Tal'ensol quickly continued.
"It matters not. Fate cannot be changed. Only the parts played may yet shift in the telling. I surmise it cannot be helped, because in the end only you alone may make the final decision. I am but a humble benefactor, who may but lay out the choices before you, and hope that the path you choose is one we may both walk together."
Infuriated, Illarna burned with anger. "So, you have been trying to manipulate me all along, invading my mind with your—" Illarna paused, trying to think of the appropriate word. "Tal tricks."
"You can say what you will, but you don't know the alternative." So whether you agree or disagree, it matters not. I do what must be done. The time of the Tal'doran is upon you, and I will do what I can to help you move forward to fulfill your fated purpose.
Oh, by the Tal, you are no different than everyone else. My entire life I've been lectured on my destiny. I already know what I need to do. I've been training much of my life for this day, and for your information I will choose my own fate.
Then choose, but know that it has already been preordained, whether it is by your hand or another. There is more to you than you think, yet you must unlock the knowledge within, if you ever wish to know why that choice matters.
Seeing only red, Illarna fumed. Everybody keeps telling me what to do. Illarna, you must do this. Illarna, you must do that. Whatever happened to what I want to do? Whatever happened to free will?
Free will, as you understand it, is an illusion. Everyone is bound to the cycle, even I.
Illarna forced herself to calm and gave a sideways glance at the luminescent blue flame shifting orange. You seem to have an answer to everything, don't you?
I have existed in one form or another since before the formation of this rock, but if you mean to ask me why I'm here, then my answer is that we are paternally connected, so I am able to manifest in your dreams in this form.
Is this not your true form? And wait, what do you mean paternally? Illarna asked, almost missing its last words. A faint smile shifted across Tal'ensol's face, along with a change of subject.
Ask your questions, little phoenix. Our time is far from endless.
Sorting through the many questions floating around in her head, Illarna plucked the most pertinent from her mind. The fire in Rennum, I should have died, correct?
Yes, for without my intervention your death was and still is inevitable, just as it is for all mortals.
Illarna was taken aback by the forwardness of Tal'ensol's answer. Wow, I don't know what kind of answer I was expecting, but that was pretty morbid.
I simply gave you the answer to your question.
Yes, that may be so, but could you make your answers a little less grim? Besides, you spoke as if I'm still going to die. Care to elaborate? Acknowledging, Tal'ensol added an important piece of information.
Separated from the source, all mortals die eventually, as I said before. It is what makes you mortal. Do you not recall tapping into the source? Apologies, I believe you called it the Tal previously.
Trailing from the sentence, Tal'ensol continued.
Though it is a less accurate in meaning, I do see the misunderstanding, however. The word has changed many times over the eons.
Feeling a sudden tiredness as she listened, Illarna tilted her head back, trying to recall her memories of fire. I remember being split from the others. I can also remember there was something in the fire that tried to kill me. Then, by instinct alone, I raised my arm to defend myself, but it was no good. That thing was too strong. Also, I'm not sure why this is, but the strongest memory I have is of a pure white eagle gliding across the sky. Illarna told Tal'ensol, recalling the memories.
To your first question, for a split second you tapped into a particularly deep part of your soul, where the knowledge I spoke of is held slumbering until you are ready to use it. More specifically, in this case, you created a barrier, though the reality of it is quite the opposite, but the definition does not matter, as the result was the same. You used what information you could find in such a way that protected you and your maidens from the Erefix.
Tal'ensol said, allowing her a moment to consider.
Young Phoenix, the ability resides within you, though you may not remember how you did it. But please heed my warning, you are but one of many, all of whom are varyingly gifted with the ability to access the source. But it has a cost. Like with your own experience, your energy will swiftly fail you, a problem, sure, but vastly exacerbated by your lack of knowledge. Yet you must endure, for wielding the Tal is no small feat, and if you don't control your impulses, the source will prove your undoing.
Considering its words, Illarna held only one more question. And the eagle?
Judgment.
Judgment? Why does every message have to be in riddles or omens? Why is everything so hard? You sound just like Sylvain. It would have been easier if I just died in the fire. Illarna exasperated in an overly dramatic tone.
Easier for whom exactly? I would not let such trivialities stop you from walking the path I destined. As I mentioned earlier, I, Tal'ensol, the most loyal and fierce of the dragons, declare you my herald. A Tal of the Golden Sun, a Tal'en.
Hairs on end, Illarna felt like her heart had stopped at that precise moment. Yet there was something else. An unexpected sense of relief had suddenly lifted from her shoulders. And then it dawned on her, a crucial piece of information had been withheld from her for such a long time. Deep down, she had known it all along, but she was not the last of her family. Or the least, no, she was different. Something more. Suddenly she remembered back to all the times she had felt a presence on her shoulder. A guardian she had always craved, yet could never find in her father. By the way, I thought you said everything was already predestined. But if that were the case, then why would you need to interfere, to change? Why would you even bother? Illarna responded, unable to hide away the smug look that appeared on her face. She finally thought she had found a contradiction in its words. Tal'ensol simply ignored the remark, moving on with the conversation instead.
Now, Sylvain, there is a very wise woman. You should listen to her counsel more than you do. Now a word about the Sylwind. She is a pure being who comes in many forms, yet always in white, and only when the very fabrics of fate are being woven. Perhaps she was watching you, deciding your place in her tapestry. But for you, I would remember that many have come to see her as symbols of nobility, courage, and freedom, but most of all, change.
Illarna started to sniffle, eyes watering as a flashback of her mother flooded her mind. My mother always used to tell me that I had a destiny, that my life would hold the fate of the world in my hands, that things aren't always as they seem, and that I should always trust within.
Your mother was indeed a rare being, respected by many who crossed her path.
Heart shaking, Illarna wiped away the tears running down her face. That thing you called a erifix, why did it mean me harm?
It was conjured by beings using the source, though their connection is different than yours. To achieve such a task, a group would be required, its size depending on their skills.
So, you're telling me that this was a deliberate attack by men who wish me harm? Illarna reverted into a defensive gesture. Who?
Those who conjured this erifix are known to you.
Eyes widening, Illarna needed no more information. Anatole, that slithering snake. I should have killed him when I had the chance. That prick will pay. He has been the bane of my existence since the day I was born. Hell, probably even before then. A thought came to Illarna's mind. Speaking of the Brotherhood, just out of curiosity, how are they able to use the source when everything they seem to do turns out bad? Father thinks I don't see it, but I am not so naive that I can't see what goes on in my own home. I have always been told that the source is good, and clearly they are not, so I am unsure how this works for them.
They are not of the Tal, although strong, their power is drawn elsewhere. Stolen.
Illarna felt a slight pull as her beautiful surroundings started to fade, the feeling of serenity lifting before her eyes, just as the feelings of chaos and burden started resurfacing. I have one last question to ask. This face you bear, he keeps reappearing in my dreams, and I cannot really remember him the moment I wake no matter how hard I try. Who is he, and what does he have to do with me?
He is but one face of a grander meaning of a larger concept, his worldly form that of a man of great stature and character. He blends well into a society not of his own, yet still he denies who he is. But do not underestimate his abilities, for the world will bend at his passing. He will be your king and your savior. He will be the one who breaks the cycle in which we are all bound. He is strong-willed, and by choice alone will he strive to heights unseen. He is of the purest heart and stringent kindness, and will risk all, including his life, for the people whom he deems worthy of his trust. This and more lies ahead for you if you choose to align yourself. However, if you choose to not, the opposite effect may come to pass, and all may cease to exist. However, I must warn you, there are far more players at this table than simply good and evil, of darkness and light, of Niklos and I. No, fate is not in the hands of a single entity, but many, each vying for a chance at total control.